What is going on, guys? This is the OG Hoenn Champ here, and today I am bringing you a team builder for week 4 now of the Showdown United League, where this time we will be taking on Coach Hyper TM and the Jersey Jump Bluffs. And actually, I'll go through this this little one again. Yep, you can see we're against the Jersey Jump Bluffs week 4, and so yeah, I'll show you guys the schedule too. Yeah, there we go. And once again, next week I actually have a bye week because I am against someone who has dropped out of the league. So without further ado, let's go take a look at Hyper's team. Now I think it's okay. Wrong person. I think it's worth mentioning that I actually I think it's actually worth mentioning that I actually took the time to battle Hyper at the beginning of the league with our teams just to, test out our Pokemon, and I did win quite a couple times. One of the Pokemon that was a huge problem for him was Vaporeon, so I think he's definitely going to bring some prep for that Vaporeon of mine. So let's just take a quick look through his team. He has the Tapu Lele, really huge threat. Immune to priority, especially most notably Bullet Punch and Extreme Speed, which would normally do massive amounts of damage to it and easily revenge kill. Psychic Terrain really boosts its psychic type attacks. I think it's by 50%, which is kind of scary. Also part Fairy type, so does really well against Kyurem. Overall, if I'm not careful, this could really wreck through my team, especially a Scarf variant. Luckily, I do have 2 Steel types, which will be able to help out a lot. Up next is Suicune. This is actually a Pokemon that I've used many a time over the years, and I know just how dangerous it can be, and I feel like Hyper has fun using Suicune as well. Also a really great response to my Vaporeon if it runs the Rest set. Rest Calm Minds. I think it's usually called the Crocoon set. The only thing is, he can't do much to me either if he only brings Scald. So he'll probably have to bring Scald, Toxic, Calm Mind, and Rest or something, if he wants to go that way. So there's a Pokemon, but also can take hits pretty well from Kyurem, from Donphan, even from Ninetales if I don't bring Freeze Dry, and Typhlosion as well. Walls out Typhlosion pretty well. So it might bring it. Next up is Shaman, actually. Regular Shaman, because Skyform is Ubers and thus banned from this league. And just GBA leagues in general. Really interesting Pokemon. I don't know how well it matches up against my team, but it does really well against the Vaporeon, so I'm not going to count it out. Just Seed Flare, Leech Seed, Air Slash, Earth Power, Synthesis, Toxic, and Natural Cure as an ability. Has really good stats all around, 100. It's one of the Pixie Pokemon, I think they're called. So base 100 stats all around, making it a really solid option, both offensively and defensively. In my experience, usually defensive Shamans are better, and especially going against Vaporeon, you don't really need that much attack investment. You'll just do massive amounts anyway. Next up is actually Darmanitan. This is a really cool Pokemon. It's like Entei, but has a higher attack and a slightly lower speed, which kind of sucks for Darmanitan. I mean, that's why Entei is generally the preferred one. Also, Entei's access to Extreme Speed helps it out a lot more. But yeah, so honestly, Life Orb or Banded Flare Blitz or even Scarf Flare Blitz will just wreck holes in my team. I gotta really watch out for that. I will say its coverage is a bit limited. I think it's pretty much has Earthquake, Rock Slide, Superpower, Flare Blitz, and I don't even think it gets Wild Charge. So that's about it. I think it also gets Stone Edge, but with Sheer Force, Rock Slide actually does a little more and is more accurate. So definitely I'll be thinking about that if he decides to bring the Darmanitan. Next up is Hitmonlee. It's pretty safe to say that I don't think he'll be bringing it I just have too many threats against it. The only thing he might bring it for, is a Mach Punch on the Kieran B, or a Scarfed High Jump Kick or Close Combat. Because once again, I don't have any Dark types, and while that might hinder me, I just don't like the Ghost... I'm sorry, I don't have any Ghost types to block that High Jump Kick. And just in general, I don't like Ghost type that much. It's always seemed like sort of an add-on type, like you need a spin blocker, you need a fighting and normal resist. But in all honesty, it's never been that important to me. I know it comes with good team building, but you know what? I'm gonna do me. Alright, but yeah, Hitmonlee, he'd probably have to run the Scarf set, seeing as he has Tapu Lele making Fake Out Unburdened set pretty unviable. Also, of note is he can't get Mach Punch as long as that Psychic Terrain is up, so I'll have to find a way to play around that if he decides to bring it. But it's very likely he will. Again, this thing is pretty much walled out by Venusaur, pretty much walled out by Vaporeon, so not too much to worry about. Even Donphan will take hits really well from it. Next up is Raichu. This is a Pokemon I do think he'll bring. Probably Specs or something, just to get off a really strong Thunderbolt or something on anything on my team that's not named Donphan or Zebstrika. Speaking of Zebstrika, I should start bringing that to more games. But anyway, this thing could also run a pretty good nasty plot set, boost its attack, special attack ×2, and just fire off Thunderbolts, Volt Switches, and that sort of thing. Hidden Power Ice for Donphan, and that's all I really would need. So I definitely think he'll bring Raichu, and that's something that I've got to watch out for. Next up is Garchomp, really great Pokemon, and one of his most reliable defensive options on his team. Probably his most, one of his most viable rockers as well. And I think he only really has 2 rockers, is Garchomp and Metagross. Honestly, I think he would bring Stealth Rock's Garchomp and just kind of skip out on Metagross, because Metagross doesn't really do too much against my team except maybe against Ninetales. I just have too many things that resist it, and stuff like Typhlosion does a ton of damage. Something like even Kyurem will do a ton of damage. See, I know Metagross, I was freaking out about Bronzong last week, but Metagross doesn't have Levitate, which means I can hit it with ground type moves, so it's not as scary to me. But yeah, the only thing I could see him bringing Metagross for is maybe my Ninetales, or maybe to just wall out my Venusaur, but I'm not going to be leaving Venusaur in against this thing. So yeah, I kind of covered 2 Pokemon in one, but he could also run offensive like Bandit or Scarf Chomp, just to outspeed my Pokemon and like outspeed Kyurem or something, no matter what. And who knows? It also does work against my Lucario, and if he runs the right set, he can do a lot of damage to Celesteela as well. So yeah, anyway, up next is Cryogonal. This is pretty much his only form of hazard removal, which he would really like for the Pinsir, especially since it's Mega Pinsir. But yeah, Cryogonal, pretty good special attacker, very fast. I think base 110 speed. Very few Pokemon actually get over that. And I mean, it has Freeze Dry. I think it's Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Rapid Spin. You can run a Toxic set as well, like Toxic Bind or something, which is really weird on a Cryogonal, but hey, it has decent special defense as well, so definitely viable. And last but not least, certainly, is Mega Pinsir. This is one of Piper's favorite Pokemon from what I know. And yeah, I'd say he's probably going to bring it because it's probably the best response to my Mega Venusaur, firing off a really strong Aerial 8 return. Probably not Quick Attack if he has Tapu Lele in. So yeah, and it also just does really well against the rest of my team. Just so much damage. One of the best responses to Scolipede, which I do plan on bringing against him, and that I've been taunting him with the entire year, or season rather. Gets Earthquake, gets Close Combat to deal with the rest of my threats. And yeah, I just gotta play around this really carefully. Base 100 speed as well, so I just gotta make sure I'm in the right speed tier. So in terms of what I think he'll bring, I think he'll bring Tapu Lele, Mega Pinsir, Garchomp, Raichu, probably Darmanitan and probably Shaman. So, with that being said, let us go to my team that I have prepared for him, and this is a fire team. Get it? Oh, I never gave Typhlosion a nickname. Oh well. I'll probably just leave a nickname off now because I don't feel like really giving it a nickname, because I would probably just trigger him. So yeah, up first is Divide by Zero, the Kyurem Black. Coming back again. This is actually a Life Orb set. I'm taking a break from running all my choice sets. Kind of boring, and I don't really like being locked into one move, even though it does give me the speed bonus. This is really nice. So I do have Ice Beam, Iron Head, Fusion Bolt, Dragon Claw, and what Ice Beam is mainly for is the Garchomp. I mean, his Garchomp would otherwise be a huge problem to this this particular set that I'm bringing. Iron Head is if I can get in on that Tapu Lele, and there are no rocks up, I do take a Moonblast from that thing if it's Scarfed, which I do think he'll bring because he goes on and on about how Scarfed Tapu Lele is broken. So don't be surprised if I stay in on Tapu Lele and try to kill it with Iron Head. Next up, Fusion Bolt, one of its strongest attacks, base 100 special attack, base 100 physical electric attack, sorry, and that just really cleans up against most of his team. Suicune takes a ton of damage from that. Darmanitan, Granbull, the only thing is the way this set is set up, the Metagross would wall me out pretty well, but I don't think he'll bring the Metagross. I do think he'll bring the Garchomp in favor of that. And yeah, Dragon Claw, so I'm not locked into Outrage, and he gets the free Tapu Lele switch. And yeah, then bad things would just happen. So anyway, Life Orb and Lonely Nature, so that I have as much special attack, and special defense as I can. Defense was the only thing that I felt like I didn't really need, because hopefully I won't be staying in on Hitmonlee or anything anyway. And I will probably not be risking staying in on his Garchomp until I know his set. Next up is Steamroller, the Scolipede, running max speed, max HP, and a Toxic Spike set this week. Yes, I am bringing Toxic Spikes, Mega Horn, to hit everything, and I brought Substitute and Baton Pass to be able to pass that speed on to the stuff like the Kyurem, to maybe the Donphan. We'll just have to see where that goes. Maybe even to Lucario, depending on how it is. But yeah, so, okay. So, yeah, and I got a little bit of investment in attack as well, just so Mega Horn pops off a little more. This thing does really well against the Tapu Lele if it's not Scarfed. And even if it is Scarfed, I should be able to live. Hopefully I won't be switching into it, is the thing. So yeah, the only thing this thing really can't hit too well is the Garchomp, and I guess the Pinsir, but Pinsir's defense is not incredible. It's surprisingly good, but it's not incredible. So yeah, Garchomp and Pinsir kind of wall this out, but this thing was meant to get up Toxic Spikes, get a poison on the Tapu Lele, on the Suicune, on the Shaman every time they come in, and on the Garchomp. That's really what my goal is here, and just his lack of hazard removal really makes it, you know, kind of... It kind of encouraged me to run this set this week. Next up is Vape Nation making another comeback, and man, let me tell you, I know that he has a lot of responses for it, but I love this Vaporeon against his team. Yeah, standard Vaporeon again, max defense, a little bit of special defense, and max HP, with Water Absorb, Leftovers, and Scald, Toxic, Wish, Protect. Scald hits everything pretty much for neutral damage, except for the Suicune, which I have Toxic for, Wish to pass on to other people, and Protect for Wish, Protect, Stall. Pretty self-explanatory set. I've run this many times. I love this set so much. Next up is the my Donphan, bringing back the Earthquake this week for the Darmanitan and for the Tapu Lele, and for the Raichu especially, because I think that thing's going to be a threat otherwise. Stealth Rock, pretty much a necessity due to his lack of hazard removal, and the Mega Pins are floating around, which I don't want to sweep my team. Yeah, Ice Shard, mainly for that Mega Pincer to take that out. Also for the Garchomp, and even the Shaman, I could revenge kill that. Oh wait, notifications. So yeah, Rapid Spin just to get rid of hazards on my side. I wanted to keep this next Pokemon as healthy as possible, in addition to cure him, because that would be really nice, especially with Life Orb. Next up is Typhlosion with Choice Scarf. And yeah, I don't really feel like giving this thing a nickname. I don't remember what I've been giving it. But yeah. So we got Eruption, Fire Blast, Hidden Power, Ice, and Extra Sensory. Max Special Attack, even more, almost max speed. Unfortunately, I could not outspeed a max speed Scarfed Tapu Lele with a modest set, so I had to run Timid, and I just threw some EVs into HP just so I speed creep it. Don't really need to waste it if I don't have to. But yeah, Eruption, just a stupidly powerful move. Pretty much hits everything on his team for a lot of damage, except for the Suicune maybe. Maybe the Hitmonlee because of its base special defense, but I also have Extra Sensory in case I don't want to go for Eruption or I don't have enough health. Fire Blast in case I lose health, and Hidden Power Ice for the Garchomp. Yeah, Scarf set, that's about it. Last but not least is Rin Skywalker, the Lucario. Did so well last week. I decided to bring it back again this week. Hasty set, because I have a little bit of coverage on both sides. The Flash Cannon, mainly for the Tapu Lele, and for the Granbull. I definitely, I think he might bring the Granbull, and if he does, I will be able to do a huge amount of damage with Flash Cannon, and that's kind of my goal, to be able to take that thing out, because otherwise Granbull kind of walls me, even with, see, I don't want to run Iron Head. Iron Tail, sorry, because Lucario actually doesn't get Iron Head, and Iron Tail, I don't want that chance to miss. So, mostly physical attacker, a little bit of special attack, but max speed, so I ran Hasty, lowered my defense a little bit, and yeah, that's this set. Close combat, hits pretty much everything really hard, except for the Pinsir and the Tapu Lele, and the Garchomp. I have Ice Punch for the Garchomp, and I have Rock Slide for the Pinsir. Flash Cannon also hits Tapu Lele really hard as well. So I just gotta watch out for anything that might outspeed this thing. But anyway, yeah, I know I'm a little bit tired now, guys, so sorry if the quality of this video is down. But I think I really need to go take a nap. I have a test tomorrow and everything, so oh boy, that's gonna be fun. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below. And you know, if you like this content, feel free to subscribe. I really do appreciate it. It means so much to me. And I will see you champs in the next video. Peace.